I'm Lolita.
You're Lolita?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I come out there and I sort of, would you like me to do a dance for you? I would have only done it, but it was your birthday.
You know, I can't thank you enough for that.
What if I told you late night TV has had moments so wild, so jaw-dropping, you'll actually pause and question if they were even allowed to air? I'm not kidding. These clips aren't your typical talk show laughs.
Oh wait, did I say I was single and then I had a boyfriend?
Eddie, please, Donald Trump will kill both of us.
We're talking meltdowns, unfiltered confessions, unexpected kisses, and moments that left audiences speechless. And trust me, number one, it's something you'll have to see to believe. So grab a snack, because we're diving into the top 12 craziest moments in late-night TV history, strictly for adult eyes only. Number 12. Drew Barrymore flashes Letterman, 1995. On April 12, 1995, David Letterman received an unexpected birthday gift when 20-year-old Drew Barrymore climbed onto his desk during her appearance on The Late Show and performed a spontaneous dance that culminated in her briefly flashing the host, creating one of late-night television's most memorable moments. The infamous flashing occurred during a particularly rebellious period in Barrymore's life. Earlier that year, she had posed for the January issue of Playboy and was starring in films like Boys on the Side, Mad Love, and Batman Forever. During the interview, Letterman inquired about her recent appearance at a New York establishment called the Blue Angel, which Barrymore described as a nude performance dance art place. Rather than merely explaining her performance, she decided to demonstrate it. "Would you like me to do a dance for you?" she asked before requesting music from bandleader Paul Schaffer. She then climbed onto Letterman's desk, performed a brief dance, and turned her back to the audience before lifting her shirt and flashing the host. The shocking moment wasn't just witnessed by the studio audience. Visitors to Times Square watched it happen in real time on a Sony Jumbotron, and viewers around the world saw it in their homes that evening. Letterman, clearly surprised but maintaining his composure, responded with the now famous line, "I can't thank you enough for that," before cutting to commercial. The incident immediately became a cultural touchstone, appearing on virtually every best-of list written about the show throughout its remaining 20-year run. Following the notorious episode, Barrymore and Letterman developed what she called a really fun chemistry. "From the moment I went on, especially with my little dance number, which was completely spontaneous and not calculated in any way, he let the audience know it was okay," Barrymore later told Entertainment Weekly. "He was so accepting of me and letting everyone know to go on the ride." Years later, Barrymore has reflected on the incident with a mixture of distance and acceptance. During a 2018 appearance on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert, she admitted, "I sometimes think, that doesn't feel like me. It's like a distant memory that doesn't seem like me, but it is me. And that's kind of cool. I'm still down with that." Now a mother of two, Barrymore describes herself as a cloistered nun now, compared to her former exhibitionist self, yet maintains, "You only have one life." What's the wildest thing you've ever seen on live TV? Well, wait till you see what happened on late-night shows when cameras kept rolling. Stick around till the end, because number one, it will leave you shocked forever. Number 11. Marlon Brando kisses Larry King. 1994. In 1994, television viewers witnessed an unforgettable moment as legendary actor Marlon Brando planted a full kiss on Larry King's lips at the conclusion of their 90-minute interview, leaving CNN executives stunned and creating an iconic television moment that would be discussed for decades. The memorable interview took place at Brando's Los Angeles residence, due to the actor's reclusive tendencies in his later years. At 70 years old, Brando had agreed to the conversation primarily to fulfill a contractual obligation with Random House, which required him to do at least one interview promoting his autobiography, Songs My Mother Taught Me. He specifically chose Larry King Live because he believed King was forthright, sincere, and direct and unexploitative. Throughout the interview, Brando displayed his characteristically unpredictable behavior, reclining with bare feet on an ottoman, occasionally interrupting King's questions, and at one point, even pinching the host's nose. The atmosphere was notably intimate, with Brando doing his own makeup and serving champagne to the crew. The interview culminated with Brando saying, "Darling, goodbye," before delivering what CNN President Tom Johnson described as not just a light kiss, but a full frontal kiss. This unexpected display of affection immediately generated significant attention, as such moments between men on television were extremely rare at that time. Consequently, CNN executives were visibly shocked. Tom Johnson, then CNN's president, called the show's executive producer Wendy Walker afterward, demanding, "Why did you let them kiss?" Walker humorously responded, "I guess I forgot," to tell them that if they were having a really good time, that they shouldn't kiss at the end of the show. Furthermore, Johnson admitted being so startled, he felt like getting under the desk. Despite the controversy, the kiss became one of the most memorable moments in King's illustrious career, with the host himself later admitting he couldn't stop thinking about the interview. Number 10. Crispin Glover's freakout on Letterman, 1987. Wearing a wig and platform shoes, actor Crispin Glover created one of television's most bizarre moments when he appeared on Late Night with David Letterman in 1987, kicking wildly toward the host's face and leaving audiences wondering if they had witnessed a genuine mental breakdown or calculated performance art. The chaotic incident occurred during Glover's appearance to promote his film River's Edge. As the interview began, viewers immediately noticed something was amiss. Glover seemed jittery and disoriented, speaking in a strange voice while dressed in ill-fitting clothes and thick glasses. After some incoherent conversation, he suddenly stood up and announced, "I can kick," before demonstrating a karate kick that came dangerously close to Letterman's head. The startled host quickly responded, "I'm going to check on the top 10, before walking off set, leaving Glover alone on stage. What many viewers didn't realize was that Glover had arrived in character as Ruben, a persona from his unreleased project Ruben and Ed. The eccentric actor had already gained a reputation for unusual behavior from his portrayal of George McFly in Back to the Future and other offbeat roles. This appearance, nevertheless, pushed boundaries even for Glover's standards. Number 9. Andy Dick Grope's Ivanka Trump, 2007. An uncomfortable interaction unfolded on Jimmy Kimmel Live. In 2007, when comedian Andy Dick repeatedly touched Ivanka Trump inappropriately during their joint appearance, forcing host Jimmy Kimmel to physically intervene and remove the actor from the set. In the now infamous episode, Ivanka Trump was seated for her interview when Dick, appearing visibly disoriented, began rubbing his hands on her legs. "You don't play up the glitter on your legs?" he asked as he touched her. Trump, initially shocked, attempted to laugh off the uncomfortable moment, slapping his hands away and trying to remove them from her legs. As Dick persisted, Kimmel quickly stepped in, warning, "Andy, please don't touch Ivanka." When the comedian ignored the request, Kimmel rose from his seat to physically remove Dick's hands. "Andy, please don't. Donald Trump will kill both of us," Kimmel added, trying to defuse the situation. Trump attempted to ease the tension by joking, "Oh wait, did I say I was single? I thought I had a boyfriend." Nevertheless, the uncomfortable encounter continued, as Dick subsequently reached for her ponytail. Following the inappropriate behavior, Kimmel and security personnel physically removed Dick from the stage. This episode marked just one in a troubling pattern for Dick. He was subsequently fired from films over sexual misconduct claims and in 2018 charged with sexual battery for allegedly groping a woman on a Los Angeles street, highlighting a disturbing behavioral trend spanning decades. Think late-night TV is all jokes and laughter? Think again. Behind the laughs are moments so insane they left audiences speechless and censors panicking. Trust me, you'll want to see how far things went in the final clip because no one expected that to air. Number 8. Cher calls Letterman an asshole. 1986. David Letterman received the shock of his career on May 22, 1986, when iconic singer Cher bluntly called him an asshole on live television, creating an unforgettable moment that would define their professional relationship for decades to come. Prior to this infamous appearance, Letterman had pursued Cher as a guest for 4 years without success. According to her later accounts, Cher finally agreed to appear only after the show arranged to pay her $28,000 hotel bill. When she finally arrived on set, the tension was immediately apparent. During their conversation, Letterman directly asked why she had consistently declined his invitations. Without hesitation, Cher delivered the now legendary response, "Because I thought you were an a-hole." Her reluctance wasn't entirely personal. Ironically, Cher actually enjoyed Letterman's program. As she explained during the interview, she avoided appearing because sometimes when he has a guest on that he doesn't like or he doesn't respect, he can be kind of an asshole. This wasn't merely a spontaneous outburst, but reflected her genuine concerns about Letterman's interviewing style. Number 7. Jerome Rodale dies on air, 1971. The most talked about episode of The Dick Cavett Show never actually aired. In a bizarre twist of fate, what would have been a routine interview became one of television's most notorious moments as health food advocate Jerome Rodale suffered a fatal heart attack during taping on June 7, 1971. Cavett's producers booked Rodale, hoping his unconventional health advice would make for entertaining television. Their instincts proved correct, as Rodale arrived bearing unusual gifts, including a goose egg he claimed offered numerous health benefits and asparagus allegedly boiled in urine. Throughout his 30-minute segment, Rodale appeared animated and confident, discussing his plans to live to 100. Shortly after columnist Pete Hamill joined as the next guest, Rodale made a snoring sound. Initially, Cavett thought this might be a joke. Comics sometimes pretended to snore to suggest boredom. Unfortunately, it quickly became apparent something was seriously wrong. As Rodale's head slumped against his shoulder, Hamill whispered audibly, "This looks bad." The audience laughed, unaware of the gravity of the situation. Cavett, nonetheless, immediately recognized Rodale had died. Chaos ensued as Cavett called for medical assistance. 2 medical interns from the audience rushed to the stage, attempting CPR as police and EMTs arrived. Subsequently, Rodale's body was taken away by stretcher, leaving behind a stunned audience and host. Number 6. Madonna's F-bomb-filled Letterman interview, 1994. Setting a record that shocked America's television landscape, Madonna dropped the F-bomb a staggering 14 times during her notorious 1994 appearance on Late Show with David Letterman. making it the most censored episode in late-night history. The tension began the moment Madonna walked on stage, where Letterman introduced her as one of the biggest stars in the world, yet someone with a temperament. Throughout the interview, Madonna exhibited deliberately provocative behavior, smoking a cigar, refusing to leave the stage, and repeatedly using profanity. At one point, she handed Letterman her underwear, asking him to smell it. The singer's combative attitude stemmed partially from Letterman's history of making jokes at her expense. "I'm not sorry that it happened," Madonna later told the New York Times Magazine, explaining she felt Letterman had been very mean to me a lot of times and I thought I'd get him back. The Federal Communications Commission received numerous complaints after the broadcast, though the show's late-night time slot, 11:30 p.m., meant it wasn't subject to the same stringent regulations as prime-time programming. Even though the network censored most instances of profanity, the sheer quantity and Madonna's overall behavior generated significant controversy. In subsequent years, both parties reconciled. Madonna returned to Letterman's show multiple times, even joking about the infamous appearance. Years later, she admitted her behavior had been influenced by her being in a weird mood, creating what has since become recognized as one of late-night television's most boundary-pushing moments. Number 5. Conan's Bugatti Veyron mouse pit, 2010. In an audacious display of network rebellion, Conan O'Brien unveiled the Bugatti Veyron mouse during his final days hosting The Tonight Show, deliberately spending NBC's money on expensive props as revenge for being forced out of his dream job after just 7 months. After NBC announced plans to move Jay Leno back to his original time slot, pushing The Tonight Show to 12:05 a.m., O'Brien refused the arrangement. Throughout his final 2 weeks on air, Conan introduced increasingly expensive comedy bits designed to waste NBC's money. The pinnacle came when he rolled out a $1.5 million Bugatti Veyron sports car adorned with mouse ears and whiskers, playing the Rolling Stones' Satisfaction as accompaniment, a licensing fee estimated at $500,000. Afterwards, Conan casually mentioned, "Is this appropriate? No, does it make any sense? No, am I allowed to do this? No, is it expensive to do this? Yes." Ironically, the apparent extravagance was largely illusion. The car was borrowed from the Peterson Automotive Museum, costing nothing, plus the music wasn't actually Satisfaction, but a sound-alike track requiring no licensing fees. Nevertheless, NBC executives were furious, perceiving it as deliberately antagonistic. This bit, alongside other expensive stunts like Conan's 2009 Kentucky Derby winner mine, That Bird Wearing a Mink Snuggie, cemented his reputation as a comedic rebel willing to bite the corporate hand on his way out. What happens when live TV goes totally off the rails? From outrageous interviews to shocking meltdowns, these late-night moments prove anything can happen when the cameras are rolling. But whatever you do, don't skip the last one. It's the craziest moment ever caught on live TV. Number 4. Johnny Carson's toilet paper shortage panic, 1973. In late 1973, amid existing concerns about resource scarcity, Carson joked during his monologue about a toilet paper shortage. His quip referenced a congressman's recent statement about potential paper goods scarcity. Uniquely, Carson's casual remark hit a nerve with viewers already anxious about fuel shortages and economic uncertainty. The timing proved unfortunate, coinciding with consumers already on edge about national supply issues related to the ongoing oil crisis. Immediately following the broadcast, alarmed viewers emptied store shelves across America. As news of the panic buying spread, Even those who hadn't seen Carson's show began stockpiling, creating a genuine shortage where none had existed. Stores imposed purchasing limits, yet hoarding continued. Simultaneously, newspapers published images of empty shelves, further fueling public hysteria. Carson ultimately issued an on-air apology, clarifying there was no actual shortage, yet the damage was done. This incident demonstrated television's extraordinary power to influence consumer behavior through casual remarks, presently considered among broadcasting's most remarkable unintended consequences. Number 3. Letterman's $2 million blackmail scandal, 2009. David Letterman stunned millions of viewers on October 1, 2009, when he confessed to sexual relationships with female employees during a remarkable 10-minute monologue that doubled as both a blackmail revelation and personal admission. The extraordinary saga began when Letterman received a package from CBS producer Robert Joe Haldeman containing evidence of his affairs with staff members. Attached was an explicit threat: pay $2 million or face public exposure. Instead of submitting to these demands, Letterman contacted the Manhattan District Attorney's Office, which organized a sting operation. After Letterman delivered a fake check to Haldeman, authorities promptly arrested the producer. Practically cornered, Letterman opted for a preemptive strategy, admitting everything on his own show. "I have had sex with women who work for me on this show," he told his shocked audience, adding that he felt menaced by the extortion attempt. Number 2. Andy Kaufman and Jerry Lawler's fake fight, 1982. The incident stemmed from Kaufman's provocative wrestling persona. As part of his comedy act, he had declared himself the intergender wrestling champion, challenging women to matches and adopting an exaggerated misogynistic character. This controversial routine led to a feud with Lawler in the Memphis wrestling circuit, where Lawler seemingly injured Kaufman with a pile driver during a match. Their animosity culminated on Letterman's show when both men appeared as guests. After exchanging heated insults, Lawler slapped Kaufman, who responded by throwing coffee at the wrestler and unleashing a stream of profanities never before heard on late-night television. Years later, both men revealed the entire feud had been an elaborate hoax, meticulously planned from beginning to end. This revelation cemented the segment as a groundbreaking moment of performance art that fooled millions and demonstrated television's power to manipulate perception. Number 1. Norman Mailer headbutts Gore Vidal, 1971. Literary titans Norman Mailer and Gore Vidal transformed the Dick Cavett Show into an intellectual battleground on December 15, 1971, when their long-simmering feud erupted into physical violence both backstage and on national television. Their animosity ignited after Vidal published a scathing review in the New York Review of Books, where he lumped Mailer with Henry Miller and Charles Manson as men who viewed women as breeders of sons or objects to be poked, humiliated, ended. This criticism struck a nerve with Mailer, who had already faced feminist backlash for his controversial book The Prisoner of and his infamous shouting match with prominent feminists like Betty Friedan and Germaine Greer. Likewise, Vidal's review described Mailer's analysis of gender politics as reading like 3 days of menstrual flow, further fueling Mailer's rage. Backstage, an alcohol-primed Mailer headbutted Vidal before cameras rolled. Once on air, the verbal sparring intensified as Mailer demanded Vidal apologize for comparing him to Manson. When Vidal offered a conditional apology, Mailer retorted, "It hurts my sense of intellectual pollution," prompting Vidal's iconic comeback. Well, as an expert, you should know about that. With this, we have come to the end of this video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do well to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. To enjoy more thrilling stories, click now on the following video that pops up on your screen.